What's up, guys? This is going to be my first video for my tech review comparison. And it's just going to be how I feel personally about the AirPods Gen 2 versus the AirPods Pro. Uh, so, personally, I used these for a very long time. I had the Gen 1s originally, and I more than enough enjoyed them. Only after about 2 years, I'll say it was about 2 years, 2 years of owning the original ones, that I realized the sound quality had gone away. They were still easily charged and things like that, but I felt like they did die a little faster and everything like that. But you know, that's typical when you have rechargeable batteries. So I bought these and used them ever since. Honestly, they have not given up on me yet. So personally, really good choice for headphones, especially when it comes to the Apple ecosystem and everything, you know, transitioning to wireless. Um, Personally, I do think that if there was a type of headphone to buy wirelessly, you know, as like a staple, as like a gateway into the door, with its compatibility with Android and obviously with Apple's ecosystem, I would gladly enjoy these right here as like a staple into the door thing. But mind you, if you are Android, I'm sure you have your headphones that you quite enjoy. You know, Samsung has their own Galaxy Buds. I think LG has some. I'm not really keen on their ecosystem and like what they have out, but we all know that with this whole competition of phones, that someone's always going to come out with something as well. But my whole comparison when it comes to the actual pros, battery life, maybe because, you know, these are a little bit older, but battery life on the pros actually absolutely outstanding. Personally, what I do love the most, and I have no real reason to actually enjoy it that much, is on the back of these, you have that chrome little piece there. And honestly, when it's shiny, when you actually have it shined, keep a cleaning cloth with you. They're not perfectly aligned, so it's not like a mirror. You can actually see that it's like so apart, and below that has the design by Apple in California, assembled in China, not Wuhan. So what I do like about the pros is that theirs is a different brushed type of metal back there. It's matte somewhat. I don't have the exact terms. I want to say it's like brushed, but it's matte basically, and it looks flush between the whole hinge. The hinge is bigger. I personally love it. I won't be really opening these up much, only for the simple fact of it's going to connect to my phone, which I am recording on right now. So I will try to take one out really quickly from both of these, and there you go. Try to make sure I get that, make sure it doesn't connect to anything. I believe I have the right one for both. Yes. So the original AirPod, being that it looks like this, everyone knows it's the floss picker thing. It looks small, insignificant almost. But compared to other wired headphones, which I do believe I have a pair currently right here. So that would be great to get that comparison of these. So yes, I do. So everyone understands the original, you know, wired headphones that came with Apple for a very long time. So this would be a great comparison of all. So when it comes to your AirPod here, and it comes to, and I'll choose the right one for this one as well, the actual wired ear pod, the stem is what greatly stands out. Now, the actual head of it that goes in your ear, I believe it to be slightly bigger, honestly, but same form factor, absolute same form factor. Besides the sensor that's right there that you see, that dot, and just that bigger hole. Welcome back. I have no idea what exactly happened, but now that we have recalibrated and we are back mounted, I will continue on with the AirPods versus the AirPods Gen 2. As far as the whole differences, you have, I feel like that's like maybe like a decompression hole, because all that sound going inside might actually cause like, a little bit of interference, with the pressure in your ear, need some release. So, with that being said, there is another sensor on that side, that dot there. That other hole on that side is basically the same. What I didn't mention is there is a R. Basically, it probably won't focus, but there is an R there. And that blurry spot you see is actually a letter. It's an R. And the right on here would be on the inside right there. Another blur you probably can't see. I don't have it focused enough. And I know I'm not good at editing enough to like edit in a shot of this. So that being said, that is the difference between EarPods and a other AirPod. So, and the main difference I notice is, you do have your mic capabilities. I will mention this one last thing. Mic is at the bottom. Both AirPods have the mic sitting at the bottom. And this little metal ring here it's charging for when it's inside of the actual case. Now the mic for these, we all know, was actually on the wire, because you have wires coming out of here. So the mic had to be somewhere along that wire. And it was simple, volume up, volume down. This was your basically button. You could answer calls, pause music, play music, do all of that. And the mic was built inside. There is a mic button or a mic icon right there. And that's as simple as that go. I always keep a pair of these because you never know when, honestly, you really can't be wireless at the time. You never know. So, with that is the feel on the original AirPods, the original EarPods and the AirPods comparison. Now, for the big thing, we have the new form factor for our new generation of AirPods Pro Edition. This has a much larger speaker, I won't say speaker, much larger grill on the outside. As you see, that grill on the outside gets a little bit bigger. Much reduced length in the stem. And the great part about this is we have the sensor and that grill here have been combined into a larger form factor. Now, the sensor is still there. They just kind of extended the blackened area around the sensor, kind of around the actual grill. So I think that just makes everything a little bit, more universal form factor. You don't like you have dirt, you don't want to knock it off because you think there's a speck on your headphones. But there is another sensor down here to the bottom. These didn't have that. And the mic for these, I believe, is probably the outside, honestly. Like, I never thought about it until this morning when I really looked. Mic, I believe this enlarged grill here holds the mic as well, because there is no mic on the bottom anymore, like there used to be in the other AirPods 1 and 2 generation. So, and the greatest part about the AirPods, period, is their new in-ear design. So, most people complained about not having these fit in their ears. They fell out all the time, all things like that. These are better equipped to get into the ear like normal earphones used to be a long time ago, back in the Stone Ages. But personally, I like that. There's still the R that sits there that you probably won't be able to see. and there sits the what was I gonna say, charging ring at the bottom. It's a little bit smaller, but still holds the same form factor. Putting it in the case, metal induction. And actually, I retract my earlier statement. There is a slight little cutout in the metal down there at the bottom that shows that might be where the mic is. All they did was reduce the size. It's not at the tip anymore, it's right there. And that makes a lot of sense because if you're talking, you need it to go there. You don't want it to go through this way. You want it to go up. Excuse my pineapple juice. It's good for you. But the last thing about the AirPods Pro that honestly have made it better, instead of on the AirPods, you had a double tapping feature, which greatly was used for ending calls, answering calls, activating Siri and things like that. It's no longer like that. It is now a touch-sensitive area with haptic touch on it, which you can easily squeeze and press to get any command you need actually out there. Now, the difference is in the case. Sorry. The difference is in the case. There's still buttons on the back for easily connecting to like things that are outside of Apple, but when you first connect, you have to press the button. In the original case, you have a light that's on the inside if you did not get the charging case, the wirelessly charging case. And that light would be somewhere in this little general area right there. And it was a good concept for setting it down, being able to see if it's fully charged. AirPods Pro comes with a wireless charging case out of the box. You don't have to buy one. It just comes like that automatically. And there is a light. There is a button or a light right there. Now the cool thing is what they don't mention is you do have, when it's wirelessly charging, if you tap the top of it, then the light will show you if it's fully charged or not. It'll turn green, it'll turn orange, it's whatever the necessary charge would be at that time. Well, it's not something that's greatly mentioned, but it's honestly greatly used. So when you first put it on there, it'll light up whatever color. But that light goes away after a while. And say you're coming back and you're just like, when did my AirPods charge? I don't know. Let me tap the top of my AirPod Pros, and see what the charge is. So there's no light on the inside anymore. The light is now on the outside and easily more done. So with that being said, the only other difference in the cases would be the actual change in form factor. As you see, and most people have already noticed, it looks like the new AirPods are just a slightly bigger and landscape version of the old AirPods. So AirPods Pro do have their slight little things with them. You cannot use old cases with them like you used to be able to. It's all new cases out there. And honestly, some of them look better with this new landscape. I've seen people use Nintendo Switch cases that look like Nintendo Switches on their AirPods. People like the old iPod Shuffle, which I personally bought that one. Spigen will be shipping that out hopefully very soon. I know with this whole pandemic going on, shipping is going to be more of a kind of relaxed thing for now as they try to get their facilities and everything's back in order. But as for now, that's all, you guys. That's my take and review on both sets of AirPods that I own. And yeah, the AirPods Pro, honestly, with its noise cancellation, honestly, I didn't expect the amount of, cancellation that I actually got. I was not expecting to have everything literally like disappear. Like, I do the snap test. It's muffled. You can still hear it, obviously. You can hear yourself talk. And it's weird because it'll feel like your ears are closed. But it's not the case. Like, I don't know exactly how to put it, but some people have talked of passing out or feeling nauseous or dizzy from using AirPods Pro. Now, if it is something that you are concerned about, I would gladly figure out if you have any type of ear defects or anything like that before purchasing AirPods Pro, because the normal AirPods, I don't heard anybody having those issues. They're still a great product, and I see nothing absolutely wrong with using the normal AirPods. They're still amazing. They're still great. I still use them from time to time just so I don't have to use my AirPods Pro that often, because yes, it's not a hassle using the AirPods Pro, but shorter stem, putting it in, doing all that, making sure it's a good seal and fit. You know, the other ones slid in, these you have to push in, which typically mean for those who might have done military service, you know, when you had the little ear plugs for combat, you had to pull your ear and press it in to make sure it had a good seal. I'm not saying you have to do that with the AirPods Pro, but I am saying I feel like it takes like a good quarter second longer putting in the AirPods Pro than the normal AirPods first and second generation. The transparency mode, it honestly feels like it's slightly amplified sound, so you're hearing a little bit better. So you basically just got very expensive Apple branded hearing aids. And with hearing aid being a thing, there is a actual feature on Apple devices that you hook AirPods up to. Besides, I think, the Apple Watch, you can put it in a listening mode. So I thought it meant that you could hear better throughout what the AirPods were doing, but no, it is getting sound from your phone and playing it to you. So, little sneaky spy tip here, you could set your phone somewhere downstairs with people there, turn on this feature, and hear the entire conversation while they're all just downstairs and you have your AirPods in. So if you want to know if someone's talking about you, learn how to use these things. And honestly, now that is the end of my AirPods and comparison review with a splash of the AirPod, you know, because we got to go back to the original where it all started. So that'll be it for this video, guys. Everyone stay safe. Let me know how this video turned out. Let me know if there's some things I should change. Did I say too much or stare off in the distance, or, you know, maybe I should just like not drop my AirPods. That'd be a thing. I don't even know which one I dropped. I'll feel bad if I drop my Pros, but they seem to be in good shape. So I want Spigen to send my case. I will link the description of the case. I will put a link in the description of the case that I got from Spigen. It looks like the old iPod Shuffle. So for those who had an old iPod Shuffle, or I might just be getting old, I don't know. It was basically little little square with directional buttons on it and a play pause. There was nothing else. There was no screen. There was no nothing. And I think that's honestly pretty cool. I wish they'd make a concept where you could get that and be able to store music into the AirPods. Like, you know, each AirPod has like 500 megabytes or something. The case has 500 megabytes. You can store music in it. And like, say that case from Spigen that looks like a controller for the old iPod Shuffle could actually control the music on the AirPods. That'd be really freaking dope, in my opinion. But yes, this will conclude my video on my thoughts and honest opinions and comparison on Apple AirPods Gen 2 and the new AirPods Pro. Have a good day, guys.